Welcome back, everybody. This is Wednesday, April 22, a balmy 81 degrees outside here in Santa Rosa. I tend to start my talks with you about bringing up change and uncertainty, and perhaps this is more about me than you, but I think we really do have a difficult time over these weeks and months with change and uncertainty. And I just want you to know that the intention behind these video visits is for us to identify and call out change and kind of flex how we handle them, and also to identify and address uncertainty so that we can mitigate it so that it really has less of an impact on each one of us. Today I have Dr. Steve Mitnick with me. Steve, as you know, is the CAO of our foundation. Go ahead, Steve.
So thank you, Gary. So barely 6 weeks ago, it was business as usual. Everyone was seeing patients in a normal manner. All the staff was coming in. The docs and clinicians were seeing patients. All the restaurants were open, the stores were full, and Highway 101 was bumper to bumper, normal as usual. It's unbelievable that we are living in an alternative universe right now with the COVID epidemic. All the parks are closed, 101 is now empty. We aren't seeing patients the way we did. In fact, we have very few patients in the clinics right now. And everyone is sheltered in place at home, and everyone's wearing a mask and having their temperature taken before they can even get into our building. This has fundamentally changed the way that we are seeing our patients, and unfortunately it's not going to end soon. I just want to thank everybody on stepping up and caring for our patients in this terrible time, because it's been a challenge, and as always, everyone here has stepped up to the disaster. Gary's going to go over with you some of the things that have happened over the last few weeks.
Thanks. So at the beginning of this, really for the safety of our patients, the county put in a shelter-in-place order. And as you'll see from the graph that you'll be in front of you, that we did a very rapid job of scrubbing our schedules and bringing down the number of visits of people entering our offices. And this is important for our patients, and to allow them to shelter at home. It has meant a big impact on our production, but that's an issue we'll be dealing with in the future. So we did that very effectively and quickly. Next thing I want to point out that we did in pretty rapid fashion, and probably we're the first group in the community to do this, was to set up our respiratory clinic. And our respiratory clinic was our effort to identify all those people with symptoms and divert them to a single clinic in order to keep our clinics safe and clean for both patients coming in and for our staff and providers. Just some statistics about the respiratory clinic. As of last week, we had seen 1,192 patients, 10% of whom were pediatric patients. About 67% of those patients were tested, and our positivity was only about 2.7%. So very similar to what the hospital and the community has seen. So that's been a very big success for us in protecting all of us. And then the last thing, which I really want to congratulate everybody, because I think everybody was involved in this, was our rapid assimilation of video visits. This is something that we were going to be doing next year, probably over a course of 6 months. But I'm going to show you some data right now that shows you in the rapid course of only 4 weeks, we basically went from 0 video visits up to about 1,600 a week, and this data is a week old, so I'm sure it's far higher now. And you can see that the top part of the bar is our Canto visits, which are growing more rapidly, because it was just last week that everybody was introduced and trained to the Canto visits. So that's a good 3 examples of major accomplishments that the foundation and providers have gone through quickly for the safety of our community.
So one thing is for certain, that it's not going to be business as usual for some time. COVID is not going to fade off into the sunset in the near future. We may be dealing with this for months, maybe even for the next year. That really means that we are going to have to readapt on how we take care of patients almost fundamentally, and we are going to have to understand and address the use of our resources in order to be able to take care of the patients that need to be seen under the conditions that we'll be living under for the foreseeable future. That may very well mean for the foundation staff that you may not necessarily work every day where you have traditionally worked. You may, on occasion, actually do other work. A lot of you are actually doing alternative jobs already. And also, we need to assure that we have the amount of staff engaged every day consistent with the clinical work that needs to be done. And that needs to be coordinated lockstep with the medical group needs as well. And Gary's going to talk a little bit about what that might mean.
I think it'll be important for our group to flex along with the staff as they try to provide optimal care with the resources that we have. I can think of a couple situations that you might encounter. One might be that you're in your care center and you have support staff that you are not familiar with, or they're not familiar with your processes. I think we just need to embrace it. We need to communicate, and we need to teach and just pursue that quality care that we provide at all times. Second situation might be flexing our schedules. Literally, I can imagine a clinic where you have 6 providers and maybe all 6 of them choose to be there in the morning and only 2 there in the afternoon, but those in the morning complain that there are not enough MAs, and those in the afternoon wonder why there are so many MAs. So that might be a situation where we have to compromise and have 4 providers in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, so that we mirror the staffing for the foundation. These are not big changes, but I think they're all going to be important for all of us to get through this. Well, thank you. That's all we have to say today. I really think that these are messages we all need to hear. We all need to pull together as a team, both the group and the foundation. We really do appreciate your ability to ride and adapt to all the changes and all the uncertainty that's coming through. Thanks.